still can't fully believe that the Leafs game that I witnessed last night actually happened, but I am so happy about it. Hello everybody, I'm Victoria and I talk about all things NHL related from across the pond in Scotland, and today I'm talking about Game 4, Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Toronto Maple Leafs versus Tampa Bay Lightning, and what a game that was. The game starts and the Leafs honestly look completely outplayed by Tampa. Tampa were definitely the better team to start, and honestly, for the majority of the game, Tampa were the better team. However, where it counted, the Leafs just pulled out the bag. Leafs win 5-4 in overtime again. The Leafs have not been the strongest team in terms of overtime wins, so the fact that this is 2 overtime wins now is nothing short of incredible. Also makes for very exciting hockey, so I love it. So Tampa opened the scoring, Killorn scores a power play goal, and then Sergachev wasn't too far after before the second period, so it's 2-0 Tampa at the end of the first. And honestly, the Leafs were like okay in the first. I would definitely say Tampa were still the better team, but they were all right. But I felt like Nylander and Mitch and Tavares to an extent were kind of not doing what they should be doing. However, the second period starts and within the first 5 minutes Achari scores, and it's a 1-goal game. You know, anything could happen. It's only 1 goal. It's tight. It's fine. Everything's fine. However, Tampa then react really quickly, and both Stamkos and Killorn with a second make it 4-1. So by the end of the second period, Leafs are 4-1 down, and I like to scroll through Twitter when the game's on, and I like to tweet when the games are on too, because it's a nice way to see what everybody's thinking. I like to see people's opinions, and even ones I disagree with. I just like knowing what people are thinking. I like seeing different perspectives from people. So I scroll through Twitter, especially during the intermissions, like a lot. And last night's, I don't find that Twitter affects my mood too much, but last night I was kind of like, this is kind of making me a little sad. I get it, the Leafs are 4-1 down, and the Leafs are not known for making huge comebacks, so I understand. And as I said, I always like seeing different opinions to mine. However, a lot of people seem to have just really given up on the team at that point, and we're kind of like, that's it, it's done, it's a 2-all series and it's going to go to game 7 and Tampa are going to win. And I just didn't feel quite as negative as that. I was really happy as long as the Leafs got one of the 2 Tampa games in that stretch. So when they won the first one, last night to me was just like a bonus game. And I do have a problem with how the Leafs were playing for some of that game, because they seem to lack a lot of the hunger that Tampa seemed to have. But anyway, you know, 4-1, okay, I get it, like it's disheartening, and when you care about a team, obviously, you know, you're going to have strong opinions on it and it's going to affect you a lot. But I was just going through Twitter and I was thinking, this is kind of making me just a little bit sad, to be honest. But you also don't want to ram positivity down people's throats, because people have a right to feel however they want to feel about the game. But honestly, if you were kind of looking at the vibe going on Leafs Twitter last night without knowing where we're at in the series, you would honestly think that the Leafs were about to get put out of the playoffs last night, which was slightly disheartening. But as I said, each their own. So then the third period starts, and I have this like strange optimism. I'm definitely one of those people that until the game is done, I'm optimistic. Unless it's, I mean, see the first game where it was like, you know, 7-3 and it was 7-2 till near the end. That one I was kind of like, yeah, this is done, but it's game 1, it's fine. And last night I was like, well, it's 4-1, even if they lose it, it's only a 2-2 series, which is fine. And honestly, Tampa have exceeded my expectations for what they were going to be like. But I also thought, like, there's still a chance they might bring this back. Like, as I say, I think I have like stupid optimism, like I do. And I don't know if it's because I haven't grown up in like Leaf sphere, and I also am like relatively new to the game, so I'm not going to try and compare my feelings to someone who is like 60 years old and has followed the Leafs their entire life, because that's just not fair. But anyway, I have this like kind of sort of dumbfounded optimism, and I was just like, well, I'm just going to watch to the end, I'll just see what happens. And I'm so glad I did. I'm glad I didn't turn it off. I'm glad I didn't go to bed, because that third period was insane. First of all, Austin Matthews was getting a lot of stick. Like, he's got a lot of stick throughout the season, and he was getting a lot of stick for his playoff performance as well. And now I love Austin Matthews. Like, anyone who knows me will know that since like the day I started watching the Leafs, I started watching the Leafs at exactly the same time Austin Matthews came into the Leafs. So he's basically been like a pinnacle of my Leafs fandom, and I have a 34 tattoo and everything. Like, I love that man, and he scored 2, and I was so happy just because I love an Austin goal anyway, but it just shows that he kind of came in even like when it really mattered most, which I loved. And they were good goals. They were very good. And then Morgan Riley's playoff performance, is anyone really doubting his passion for this team? Because how can you? He ties up the game before the end of the third, and it's 4-4. And I am like, what the hell is going on? What is this? Like, usually Leafs blow leads and instead they're making a comeback. What the hell is this? But I love it. So to overtime we go, and Kerfoot in overtime. What an unexpected joy. So glad for Kerfoot, because I think a lot of people were seeing him disappearing into the lineup, and I think a lot of people were not enjoying him, so it was so good to see. I love when like a less star player gets like a game-winning goal. I love that. So yeah, what a comeback that was. Overall, as I said, Tampa still kind of outplayed the Leafs, I won't lie. They outplayed them for the last 2 games, but it doesn't really matter because it's whoever wins it, and the Leafs plenty of times before have been the better team all the way through the game, and they've blown it at the end, and it's like everything's working in reverse, you know? Like, it was 4-1, but wait a minute, it's the opposite way around from previous experiences of it being 4-1. The Leafs usually start off well in a playoff round, and then at the end they bottle it, and instead it's sort of in reverse. Game 1 was terrible, but now they seem to be coming in clutch when they need to. So I'm just thinking, if they're reversing this, are they going to reverse all of the other curse related things? Because I really think they can, and I'm very much enjoying watching the journey to them doing whatever they're doing. So comment down below, what did you think of the game last night? What's your feelings? Is it going to be game 5, game 6, or are we going to have the dreaded game 7? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll be back after game 5 with whatever happens there. Hopefully it is a Leafs win, and round 2, here we come, which, so exciting. I'm so excited, guys. I'm just so excited. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
I finally stopped running now. With you I found my peace somehow. Let go of every thought that was holding me back. Yeah, I'm in love.